All right, guys, we got a good show for you today. We have Zack Konstantinovsky. He's committed to Rutgers. He's top 500 in the nation for the 2023 class. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
All right, so we always start off with like a few couple would you rather's to start. Pitching wise, would you rather have Scherzer or Kershaw on your team?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Me personally, I like Scherzer better. I like his mix better, and he's like a big bulldog on the mound, and I like that guy. So I'm going with Scherzer.
All right, and then I had to ask this one because I went to a Yankees game like 2 weeks ago, and next week I'm going to see the Mets play the Pirates. Would you rather have DeGrom or Cole?
Oh, man. See, this is a tough spot because I'm a huge Yankees fan,
Yeah.
but I think DeGrom is definitely the best pitcher, if not the best player in baseball. So I'm gonna have to go with DeGrom.
Yeah, I
Although,
respect I
oh,
respect that because I was in the bleacher creatures at Yankee Stadium,
yeah.
and there were so many. There was a dude with a Mets jersey, and there were so many Yankees fans, fighting, about how Cole was the best. But I mean, if you look at it right now, DeGrom's ERA tells you what.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat a 102-mile-an-hour fastball with a 94-mile-an-hour slider. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go with DeGrom on that one. But that's a good question.
yeah. Um, for you, how did you get into baseball? Growing up, did you play any other sports, or was it always just like baseball?
Yeah, so my brother actually got me into baseball. He went to Rochester. I see his jersey back here. He went to University of St. John Fisher, St. John Fisher College. So he kind of got everything started for me from a very young age. I mean, I was playing t-ball at 4 years old. So I was right on the field right away, but I did play basketball growing up until the end of middle school. And then I kind of realized that I want to be going with my career ahead of me with baseball. So I was like, focus on baseball, go right away. And I was happy with my decision there.
Yeah, in baseball, was there like a moment for you where you knew, hey, I can be, a Division I baseball player and have, future aspirations of possibly getting the MLB just down the road?
I mean, as every baseball player's dream is going to be a professional baseball player, but I'd say after my eighth grade year, going to my freshman year, my coach kind of sat down with me and my parents, and it's like, yeah, we got to start talking to coaches and get some looks at you because this could be some serious progress and things happening. And we're kind of looking at each other like eighth grade, like this
Yeah.
early. It's like, yeah, we got to start now. So I think right about transitioning from eighth grade to freshman year of high school is when we really noticed what my potential was.
Yeah. You actually kind of went into my question I was going to ask because one of the guys who helped out the show, he's like four in the nation. His name's Walker Jenkins. He committed as a freshman, going to North Carolina for baseball. Why is it like in baseball you feel like players commit earlier in this sport than like, some basketball players wait till senior year to commit? Why do you
Yeah.
feel like it's baseball so early?
Honestly, I have no idea. I think that baseball is not as on people's radar as much as basketball or football. So kids don't really care about all the attention and the late committing, and they just want to they care about their future more. Not that basketball players and football
Yeah.
players don't, but I don't think it's as spread around, I want to say. So I think kids are committing so early just because it's like it's in basketball. There's a lot of growth. You can go from 6'8" to 7'1" in a year,
Yeah.
which is a big thing for basketball players, and or the huge size jumps. For baseball, you see a kid throwing, say, 75 in eighth grade. That translates to 90 in his for sophomore year. So that's how I think coaches look at it. So I think that could be one of the reasons, but honestly, I have no idea why it's just starting so early.
Yeah. For you, we talked about a little bit like recruiting. How was it for you? Was it like a lot of Zooms? Did you visit some campuses? How was it?
Yeah, so I mean, right before COVID hit, I think I went to maybe 4 or 5 different camps, but it was cool. I got to see a lot of schools. I went to Duke, I saw Seton Hall, obviously, I went to Rutgers. I was speaking to a couple of other schools, via Zoom and on phone, just because once COVID hit, everything got a lot harder and
Mhm.
couldn't really go and see colleges. But I think that was also one of the factors of why Rutgers was an easy decision because it was so close and I could go there right at my discretion. But Yeah, it was a mix, little Zoom, phone calls in person, all yeah, all the above.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm going to school like an hour from Rutgers. I've started to go up there with my friends. It's a great place. I'm starting to meet some of the players, getting to know it. And, Rutgers is like a great place, to
Yeah,
be. I can see why you want to go there.
absolutely.
Talk about, you're close to home. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know the area well. But North Brunswick's only like 10, 15 minutes away,
Yeah, it's
right?
the best part. I mean, Livingston campus where the baseball field's about 10, 15 minutes, so
Yeah.
feel like you're right at home.
So what's it, you probably are going to talk to that coaching staff. What's your relationship with the coaching staff and especially being close and everything.
I mean, it's been awesome. I've been speaking to them a little bit over a year now, and it's just kind of building a bond, building a family. I speak to a couple of guys that are already committed in the team, and it's just a great group of guys. I'm excited for what the future holds, and hopefully the next, when I get there in 2024,
Yeah.
it's going to be a couple of championships on the way and get some
No.
wins.
Yeah, for sure. Um, the College World Series just ended, right? And it got me like, thinking, there's schools like Rutgers and, Big Ten schools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do you think it's gonna take for teams like that, to get in the mix? Because I'm personally getting kind of tired of seeing all these ACC, SEC, South kind of running up. What do you think's the big thing that's gotta, change to see more Big Ten teams in the mix?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the big parts about me going to Rutgers, what I felt was the coaching staff, and Coach Owens is rated the most underrated baseball coach in all of D1 baseball, I think 2 years ago. So after seeing what that coaching staff held and how many wins they have, how they progress players, I think that he's the man to do it. He's gonna create an atmosphere, a program that's gonna win championships, and I think that that's what he's gonna do. For he's gonna change around Rutgers. People hear Rutgers baseball like, why that? And I'm like, just wait for it. Wait a couple years, and it's gonna be on the rise.
Yeah, trust the process, like Joel Embiid
Absolutely.
had said.
Yeah.
Um, I hear a big person that was helped you with your decision was Eric Reardon.
Yeah.
You talk about your relationship with him and everything.
Yeah. So Eric Reardon went to my high school. He played with my brother in high school. He also played at the same club team that I play at, Baseball Warehouse. And his father is actually the equipment manager at Rutgers. So I know them, and they were a huge decision just because I could talk to him 24/7 whenever I wanted. He was always there. If I had any questions, he was always there. And he just kind of gave me advice on what I should do, and I kind of went with it. And talking to him about his experience, I talked to his dad about what he thought about Rutgers, and it was just awesome. I had someone that I could talk to, and I knew personally that helped me make my decision, which was a huge part.
No, yeah, it's awesome. You kind of set me up, like you keep setting me up. So I was wanting to talk about Baseball Warehouse.
Yeah.
You know, what have they done for you? And when you're getting, choosing teams you want to play for, what was like, why was like Baseball Warehouse one of the teams you decided to play for when you're like going into high school?
I mean, my brother had played there, so I just kind of went with it. But my coach and also my pitching coach, Joe Augustine, um, he kind of just expanded my game. I had huge problems. I went from like walking 4 guys an inning to
Yeah,
walking 3 guys a year. So I saw the progress that I was making, the strength that I was building, and all the knowledge they had. They had building players, and I couldn't say no. There's no way to leave the place. And we're facing great competition. Mike Garlotti, who runs the thing, is the head scout of the Colorado Rockies in the Northeast. So he's a great person to talk to. He's always
yeah.
there for me too. And it's just, it's a great group of guys too. It builds a great atmosphere. It's a great facility. I'm just happy to be there.
Yeah. We had COVID last summer. I saw you guys got to play like 2 or 3 tournaments, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's this summer looking like, tournament wise and getting to play?
Yeah, so the first month, just all of basically June and some of July, we're doing a lot of showcases. So we've done either 4 or 5 showcases, couple or one at a college, we went to Rutgers actually for a showcase. We've done a couple of PBR showcases. So June's just kind of getting the players on college coaches' radars. And then we're actually going to Boston next week for the Boston Open
Oh,
tournament. So that'll be fun. And the week we come back, we have a Diamond Nation tournament, and then we're playing in a perfect game tournament in Richmond County. So that's what we have coming up right now.
Yeah, I feel like in baseball, almost every weekend you're booked up for a tournament.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
we're always got something going on.
it's never a break.
Yeah.
You know, when you get that break, you get to work on stuff. What's like the big thing you're working on right now? You have a change up, curveball, and fastball, correct?
Yeah, so I've been throwing my changeup for like 5 years now, and it's a really good pitch, and the curveball is kinda new for me, so I think it's like my 3rd year throwing it, and still haven't perfected it. I have my fastball, I can throw it wherever I want.
Yeah.
Changeup's a great pitch. Now it's just my curveball. That's where I wanna get my curveball to the next level where my other pitches are, just kinda throw it wherever, whenever I want. So that's the next thing I'm working on right now.
So you're working on the curveball. Are you working on any other pitches? Or are you just really trying to get that curveball down right now?
I mean, the curveball I think is important for me just so I have that breaking pitch. I have one. I just want to perfect it just like
Yeah,
my other 2 pitches. And then along the way, I would like to maybe develop a slider or a cut or another 4th pitch just to
yeah,
mix in that repertoire to get me to the next level.
yeah. High school season, you guys play. You got to play. Some states still didn't even get to play. Which is
Yeah.
crazy. You guys went like 17-10-1 as a team. What are you guys working on? To have successful season. Next year. And everything.
Yeah, so honestly, COVID hit us hard last year. We had 2 or 3 kids out of COVID in the middle of the season. We had a couple kids leave for personal reasons, and I think, next year, we just wanna try to keep our whole team together all for a whole year. I think if we had our whole team together last year, we would've done a lot of great things.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, the COVID problems, you can't really control that. We saw what it did to us, and we, kinda detrimented our season.
yeah,
But we made it far. I think we could have done better, but we did really well. Our
yeah,
program was 17-10-1, like you said, which was a big step for us. First, I think we won 17 games for the first time in like 10 or 12
yeah,
years. But next year, I think we got a couple of coming up sophomores and freshmen that I think that can help us, and our seniors will be huge next year. So I think if we're just staying consistent, we're playing as a team, we'll be fine.
yeah. No, that's awesome. I was looking because like the region you're in, you have a bunch of really that's like the best region for
Yeah,
New Jersey baseball. I mean, you have Montclair, Verona, those teams are
yeah.
all got good players. That's why I was going to talk about that. Of everywhere you've got to play baseball, where has been your favorite place to play?
Like in Jersey or just in
No,
general?
this could be anywhere.
I'd say in Little League, we went down to Ripken in Maryland, and those are awesome fields. I mean, it was a Little League field, but they had all like the replica fields, and that was a really cool experience. And then um, my 13-year year when we just transitioned to 60-90 in the big field, we got to play at the minor league stadium at Ripken, which was an awesome experience. But I got to play at Somerset Patriots Stadium. That was
Yeah,
really cool. I got to play Penn State was cool, and obvious Rutgers. That was awesome field. But,
yeah.
I'd say Ripken was the coolest place I've played at.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Growing up for you, did you look up to any current or former players, model your game after anyone, anything?
I mean, Derek Jeter's been my favorite player. I play shortstop and I'm not pitching, but Derek Jeter, besides just him playing shortstop, he didn't lead by, his vocals. He did it by, how he played on the field, and I think that's what I model myself after. If I'm pitching, I don't necessarily like to talk to everybody. I don't want to
Yeah,
be that vocal guy if I'm pitching, but I like to show it by, how I play on the field. But that's kind of who I modeled my game after.
yeah. When you're out, playing baseball, what's your favorite thing to do in like your free time?
Ooh,
Are you playing the show?
I am playing the show always. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know what baseball player doesn't at this point.
that's what I had to ask. I had to make sure.
Yeah. But, I'm not a huge video game person. I mean, I'll play every once in a
Yeah,
while, but, I like hanging out with my friends, just doing stuff.
yeah,
I mean, COVID's dying down a little bit, so
yeah,
kinda getting back with my friends is, I don't wanna say rare, but
yeah,
it's better just to see life is coming back to normal. I did play the saxophone in my freshman year of high school. I stopped that, but
yeah,
I did play some music. Um I like cooking. My family's big foodies, so
yeah.
we're traveling all around New York to find the best restaurants. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with my friends. We're going to LBI next
Yeah,
week.
always down the
I'm
shore. That's
going
pretty
around.
cool.
I'm trying to find the best pizza in New York, New Jersey, on the East Coast side.
Oh yeah, I can give you a couple places.
You'll have to send me it.
Yeah,
I'm going to be in Princeton meeting up with the Rutgers guy I was telling you about. Um,
yeah.
final two questions. We always finish off them. So, over the course of your career, what's the best piece of advice anyone's ever told you?
I'd say work hard no matter who's watching, if anybody's watching. One thing our coach always said to us, the good players, they'll always work hard when someone's watching. The great players will work hard. Doesn't matter who's there and who's not. So I'd say always doing stuff on your own as well. Bring what coaches tell you at practice and then applying them to what you do for yourself. That's a big thing for me. I always do my mechanics in front of the mirror, trying to perfect them. And that at some point when you're in the game, you don't want to be thinking about your mechanics, right? So
Yeah.
just kind of working hard all the time, and you will see results. Trust me, you will.
Yeah. Um, this is the final one. This one's actually probably the hardest one. So, when your baseball career is over down the line, right?
Yeah.
How do you want people to remember yourself?
Wow. Ooh, I haven't thought about this one.
No one
Um,
has. That's why we always
it is
ask.
a good one. Yeah. I'd say as a baseball player, all the accolades and being in the Hall of Fame, Cy Youngs, obviously winning is cool, but I want to be remembered as a good teammate. Someone who my teammates can reach me off the field as well. Being there for them, and then just picking them up also during the game, having fun, being that nice guy. So I'd say besides being that winning type of guy, I'd like to be remembered as one of the best teammates they've had.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome here. Zach, I appreciate you coming on, man. Starting to build a connection with Rutgers. We're gonna go to some football games. You might have to hop on the trend of the Ohio State Rutgers game with some of
I
us,
know, yeah, that should
some
be
of the
pretty cool.
players.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
But for sure, we have to meet up sometime. But man, I
Absolutely.
really appreciate you coming on, man. It means a
Thanks for
lot.
having me.